The Galactic Council warned them about humans. They ignored it. The chamber was filled with delegates from thousands of species across the galaxy, some with scales that shimmered like liquid metal, others with tendrils that floated gently in the gravity-neutral air. They had gathered to discuss one small, seemingly insignificant species: humans. Reports had been trickling in for decades. Humans, a young and seemingly primitive species from a tiny blue planet orbiting a quiet star, were expanding faster than anyone had predicted. They had started exploring nearby star systems, building ships capable of interstellar travel, and surviving conditions that would kill almost any other species. Most council members were amused. "Primitive," said Delegate Virical of the Sarlacc Empire, his three eyes blinking in unison. "Barely a spacefaring race, yet the reports claim they can outsmart our scouts. Preposterous." "Yes," added Elder Katarn of the Veshari. "They cannot possibly pose a threat to the Council. We have technology thousands of cycles ahead of them. We need not concern ourselves with mere humans." But others were not so confident. A smaller group of delegates leaned in, whispering among themselves, their voices tinged with worry. "They are resilient," said Tili of the Xantari Collective. "I have observed them directly. Even their scouts, their explorers, survive conditions that would have destroyed my best agents. Their adaptability is alarming." "Alarming?" scoffed the chamber. "Alarming is when a warship can destroy an entire fleet, not when a species barely reaches the nearest star." But the warnings continued. Envoys who had visited human colonies reported strange, unexplainable phenomena. Humans could survive environmental extremes, think quickly under pressure, and repair or improvise technology at rates that were unheard of. One observer, a Vexil engineer, had gone so far as to say humans solve impossible problems in ways no intelligent species has ever done before. The council voted, as it always did, to formally study the humans. An envoy, Captain Learn, a silver-scaled warrior from the Elothian Empire, was sent to observe human behavior up close. His ship approached the Sol system quietly, cloaked in technology designed to make him invisible even to human sensors. What Learn saw astonished him. The humans did not fight him, yet they noticed his presence immediately. They did not panic, they adapted. Sensors and defensive systems were activated within minutes. Fleet drones moved with precision. A small team of human engineers repaired a malfunctioning energy shield while simultaneously tracking Learn's ship. And then, with calm efficiency, they tested new strategies, patterns and maneuvers that Learn had never seen in any other species. "They are dangerous," Learn reported in a secure transmission to the Council. "Do not underestimate them. They think and act in ways we cannot predict. Their resilience, it is unlike anything I have ever encountered." His warning arrived at the Council in the form of a detailed report. It was thorough, cautious, and repeated a single point: humans were underestimated at their own peril. For a brief moment, there was silence in the Grand Hall as the Council digested the report. Then, as if a switch had been flipped, the majority of delegates dismissed it. "Overcautious," said Delegate V. Rickle, rolling his multifaceted eyes. "We have survived far more dangerous species. The humans are curious, yes. Resourceful, yes. But a threat. They cannot even travel halfway across the galaxy. Let us not waste cycles on speculation." Others nodded. The human species, for all its unusual behavior, was still young, small, fragile. It seemed impossible that such a species could pose a real challenge to the Council's power. And so, the warnings were ignored. Meanwhile, back in human space, life continued with a quiet determination that no alien could understand. On the planet Earth, scientists and engineers worked tirelessly. Spaceports thrummed with activity, rockets lifted off daily, and satellites zipped across the sky. Humans explored not just their own solar system, but nearby stars, using a combination of brute ingenuity and daring experimentation. Captain Sarah Ilian of the starship Endeavour prepared for her next mission. Her crew was a mix of humans from all over the planet, trained in science, engineering, and combat. They were ready to push further than anyone had dared. "Systems check," she said, her voice calm but firm. "Engines, shields, navigation all green. Communications ready. We leave in 10 minutes." Her first officer, Lieutenant Raj Patel, glanced at the holographic display. "Captain, our sensors are picking up an unknown vessel entering our sector. It's not from any known human colony." Sarah frowned. "Show me." The display flickered, revealing a sleek alien ship. Its design was unlike anything humans had seen, elegant, deadly-looking, and clearly built for speed and reconnaissance. "They're observing us," Raj said. "I don't think they know we see them yet." Sarah's lips curved into a small smile. "Let's make sure they understand that humans are always watching back." Endeavour adjusted course subtly, moving into a position that allowed them to observe the alien ship without revealing their full strength. The humans did not panic. They had prepared for encounters like this, using strategies that other species considered reckless. Hours later, the alien ship made its move. It sent a small probe toward Endeavour, attempting to scan the human systems. Within minutes, the humans had not only detected it but had captured its signal patterns and learned how to disable it. By the time the alien vessel realized humans were aware, it was too late. The probe was neutralized. The humans had learned more from the encounter than the aliens could have hoped. Far away, Captain Learn watched from his own ship. He had reported on humans before, but now he understood fully. These creatures were unpredictable. They were fearless in ways he could not explain. And they were fast learners. "They are not just surviving," he muttered. "They are evolving faster than anyone suspected." Back at the Galactic Council, the reports of alien observers like Learn were buried under political agendas and arrogance. Most council members simply could not imagine a species so young and small could pose a real threat to thousands of established civilizations. Delegate Katarn of the Veshari laughed during a briefing. "Humans are entertaining," he said. "Let them explore their little system. They are like infants playing with fire. We are the fire wielders of the galaxy. They cannot hurt us." But a few voices of caution remained. Tilai of the Xantari whispered in corridors, speaking to anyone who would listen. "I have seen their scouts survive disasters, escape traps, and adapt in moments where no other species could. One day, if we ignore them too long, we will regret it." The warning hung in the air like a shadow, but the council ignored it. They were too sure of their superiority. They were too confident in their experience. And the humans, they were simply preparing to be underestimated. On Earth, humans continued their exploration. Colonies on Mars, the moons of Jupiter, and beyond were expanding steadily. Humans built fleets of ships designed not just to travel, but to survive, adapt, and fight if necessary. They trained in tactics other species considered reckless, and they experimented with new technology that even their own engineers sometimes did not fully understand. Sarah Ilian's Endeavour returned from a long mission, bringing with it knowledge of nearby alien systems and potential threats. Her crew was tired, but their excitement was palpable. They had faced the unknown, survived, and returned stronger. "Every time we go out there," she said to her crew, "we learn something new, something no one else could imagine. That's how humans survive. That's how humans win." The crew nodded. They did not think of themselves as invincible. They thought of themselves as human, resilient, clever, and unafraid. And far away, in the council halls of alien civilizations, the same humans were quietly becoming a problem that no one wanted to admit. By the end of the cycle, the Galactic Council had made its decision. Humans were not a threat. They were a curiosity, an amusing species, a minor player in the vast galaxy. But Captain Learn and a few others who had seen the humans up close knew better. "They are more than what we think," he whispered to no one in particular. "They are unpredictable, and they are coming. One day the galaxy will regret ignoring them." The Grand Hall continued its deliberations, oblivious to the quiet storm brewing in the corner of space that no one had truly understood. The humans were small, yes, but in their smallness lay something the Council had failed to recognize: the power of ingenuity, courage, and relentless determination. And the galaxy had no idea what was coming. The galaxy was quiet for a moment, but not for long. Across the stars, fleets of alien scouts and survey ships began moving closer to human colonies. The Council had dismissed their warnings, but some ambitious species decided to test humanity anyway. They thought it would be easy, a minor demonstration of power to show humans their place in the galaxy. What they did not know was that humans were ready. Not because they had vast fleets, but because humans had something no other species relied on: courage, adaptability, and relentless thinking. First contact on the edge of the Proxima sector, Lieutenant Raj Patel monitored the screens of the human starship Endeavour. Alien ships appeared on their sensors, sleek and dark, gliding through space like predators. "Captain, multiple unknown vessels approaching," Raj said. "They are armed. No response signals. They're not here to talk." Captain Sarah Ilian leaned forward, studying the display. "How many?" "7," Raj said. "All faster than our standard patrol ships." Sarah's brow furrowed. "Then we make speed our ally, full evasive maneuvers, but keep observation ready. Let's see what they're trying to do." The human fleet was small. 7 alien vessels could easily overwhelm them in a straight fight. But humans never fought in straight lines. Using nearby asteroid fields and gravitational anomalies, Sarah directed her fleet in ways the aliens could not anticipate. Sensors jammed, decoy drones deployed, and the humans moved as if they were one organism, reading each other's intentions without spoken words. The aliens struck first, sending energy blasts toward the human ships. A few small vessels took damage, but the humans had prepared. Shields reinforced instantly, while automated repair drones patched critical systems in minutes. The aliens expected panic, but they saw none. Humans moved calmly, adapting to every attack. "Admirable," muttered one alien captain over their comms, realizing their weapons were less effective than predicted. But humans had more than defense. They had creativity. Lieutenant Patel activated a program that would have been dismissed by other species as reckless. Using the local asteroid belt, they created a controlled debris storm, forcing the alien ships to maneuver through dangerous rocks. The humans' small fleet avoided collisions while the alien vessels struggled. One crashed into a massive asteroid, shredded instantly. The remaining ships were forced to retreat. The humans had survived their first direct challenge. The Council's reaction. Back in the Galactic Council, news of the skirmish spread quickly. Initially, there was disbelief. 7 ships, defeated by a human fleet smaller than most of our patrols. Delegate Virical barked, his eyes blinking rapidly in frustration. "Impossible. There must be a mistake in the reports." Captain Learn, who had observed humans before, stood silently. "No mistake," he said. "They are learning faster than we anticipated. They are not just surviving, they are thinking faster than anyone expects." The Council could no longer ignore the humans, but old habits die hard. Many delegates argued that a full-scale response would be overkill. Others feared the political consequences of acknowledging the humans as a real threat. Pride and arrogance blinded them to the growing danger. Meanwhile, humans did not wait for permission or debate. They continued to expand, explore, and prepare for whatever might come next. The human advantage. Humans had one advantage no alien species could understand fully: improvisation. When standard weapons failed, they created new strategies in minutes. When sensors could not detect threats, they built their own. On the distant moon of Titan, a human research base detected an alien surveillance network attempting to map their colony. Scientists worked alongside engineers to create a countersignal. Within hours, the aliens' mapping system was feeding false data. "This is remarkable," said Dr. Alina Rossi, the base director. "They'll think we're still in the early stages of colonization. They won't realize we have defensive networks everywhere." Meanwhile, fleet commanders shared information across colonies. Lessons from one engagement were immediately implemented elsewhere. Every human settlement became smarter, faster, and more coordinated. Alien fleets tried to suppress human expansion, sending strike teams and ambushes, but every attack taught the humans something new. Every failure became a lesson, every challenge a blueprint for improvement. The first major battle, the Council, still divided on how to handle humans, finally authorized a larger operation. A fleet of 30 alien warships was dispatched to the Tau Ceti system, where humans had established a key colony. Their mission was simple: intimidate humans into surrender. Humans, as always, were prepared. Captain Ilian received the alert and convened her team. "We're outnumbered 5-1, she said, looking at the holographic map. "That's true, but they think speed and numbers will win. They don't know what humans can do when we fight smart. We'll turn this into our advantage." Lieutenant Patel smiled. "Captain, I've been analyzing their fleet patterns. They rely on linear formation and heavy weapons. They cannot adapt quickly. If we can force them into unpredictable space, we can disrupt their firing sequences." "Good," Sarah said. "We will make them fight on our terms." When the alien fleet arrived, they found the human colony seemingly vulnerable. It was a trap. Humans had placed automated drones, asteroid barriers, and gravitational fields in positions that gave them maximum advantage. The alien ships launched attacks immediately, confident in their superior firepower. What happened next stunned even the most experienced alien commanders. Humans moved with precision and creativity. Energy weapons were rerouted, drones intercepted missiles, and improvised countermeasures neutralized advanced alien tech. One human ship, piloted by Lieutenant Maria Chen, performed a daring maneuver around a gravity well, launching a series of attacks that disabled 2 alien warships before they could respond. The aliens panicked. Their strategy had relied on predictable human behavior, and humans refused to be predictable. In hours, half the alien fleet was destroyed or forced to retreat. Captain Ilian stood on the bridge of Endeavor, watching the alien ships flee. "We've shown them we are not weak," she said. "We've shown them humans survive. We've shown them humans fight." And yet, she knew this was only the beginning. Diplomacy and alliances, humans did not fight alone. They reached out to smaller species that the Council had ignored or exploited. These species, impressed by human courage and fairness, began sharing intelligence and resources. Humans were building more than defense. They were building alliances. Ambassador Jerk of the Zandari species said during a covert meeting, "I never trusted the Council. I see now humans are different. They are strong, yes, but they are also honorable. I will help them." This was a turning point. Humans were no longer an isolated species. They were a rising force in the galaxy, respected by some and feared by others. The Council in panic, the news of human victories spread quickly through Council channels. Panic replaced arrogance. Delegates who had once laughed at warnings now questioned their previous assumptions. "We underestimated them," said Delegate K. Tarn, shaking his head. "This is no longer a curiosity. Humans are dangerous." Captain Learn, still observing from his post, nodded grimly. "I warned you," he said quietly. "They adapt, they survive. They learn faster than any species I have seen, and this is only the beginning." Council meetings grew tense. Factions argued over how to respond. Some called for immediate military action. Others feared provoking humans further. But the humans were not waiting for debate. Every council delay was another opportunity for human expansion, another chance for them to turn weakness into strength. Humans learn and innovate. Across human-controlled space, engineers, scientists, and soldiers worked together seamlessly. Lessons from one skirmish were immediately applied elsewhere. Humans learned to predict alien strategies by studying patterns and testing assumptions. On one distant outpost, a human technician named Leo Anders discovered a flaw in alien communications. Within hours, the humans had developed a jamming device that disrupted alien coordination in real time. On another planet, colonists used local terrain and natural resources to create improvised defenses stronger than many council fortresses. Humans were not just surviving, they were thriving. Their ingenuity and courage made them unpredictable, and that unpredictability terrified the aliens. The stars burned cold and distant as the largest fleet the galaxy had ever seen assembled near the human-controlled Tau Ceti system. 30 warships, each larger than most human colonies, glided in formation, their engines humming with deadly intent. They were sent by the Galactic Council to crush humanity once and for all, to show the young species their proper place. They had counted on confidence, precision, and fear, but they had miscalculated. Humans were fearless, unpredictable, and brilliant at turning disadvantage into victory. Captain Sarah Ilian stood on the bridge of the flagship Endeavour, her eyes scanning the holographic display of the approaching armada. Her crew, weary from previous battles, worked with steady hands. They knew the stakes. "Captain," Lieutenant Raj Patel said, "they're coming in formation, heavy weapons ready. They expect us to fight defensively." Sarah's lips curved into a small smile. "Then we'll do the unexpected. Alert all colonies, this is not just our fight. Every human system is ready to respond. We strike smart, not brute." The battle begins. The alien fleet opened fire. Massive energy blasts streaked across space, hitting empty regions and decoy satellites. Humans had anticipated this. Small, agile ships darted through asteroid fields, drawing fire while automated drones disabled the Council's targeting systems. Humans had a secret advantage: coordination. Across dozens of star systems, colonies worked in unison, communicating faster than any alien fleet expected. They shared sensor data, synchronized countermeasures, and predicted alien maneuvers before the Council commanders could react. "Deploy the gravitational traps," Sarah ordered. "Lead them into the asteroid cluster. Make them work for every hit." Alien ships struggled to navigate the unpredictable terrain. Some collided with hidden fields of magnetic debris. Others were forced to retreat under coordinated fire from human vessels. One Elothian warship, the pride of its empire, spun out of control and exploded in a brilliant flash of white light. Captain Learn, observing from his distant post, recorded every moment. "They are not just fighting," he whispered to himself. "They are orchestrating war like an art form, and they are winning." Human ingenuity shines. It was not just tactics that gave humans the edge, it was creativity. When alien ships adapted to one strategy, humans invented another in seconds. They used environmental features, improvised weapons, and psychological tactics. On a nearby planet, engineers created holographic decoys of massive fleets. Alien sensors detected the false ships and targeted them, wasting precious energy and resources. In another system, humans manipulated gravity wells to redirect enemy missiles into empty space. Lieutenant Maria Chen led a daring strike team in a small corvette. They slipped through the edge of the Council formation, disabled the energy shields of a key warship, and captured it intact. The Council had never experienced such audacity. Their largest vessel, taken by a tiny human ship, unthinkable. Council panic. Inside the Galactic Council, chaos reigned. Delegates shouted over each other, blaming mistakes, miscommunication, and poor leadership. "They cannot be this strong," Katarn yelled. We have the largest fleet ever assembled. They are only humans. Captain Learn, his voice calm, said, "No, they are more than humans. They are adaptable. Every attack makes them stronger. Every loss teaches them a lesson. By the time you understand them, it will be too late." Some delegates began to realize the truth. The humans were not just surviving, they were dominating. Panic spread through the council. Many species had relied on arrogance and intimidation, assuming humans would surrender. They were wrong, turning the tide. The battle raged for hours, and then humans did something unexpected. Using intelligence from smaller allied species, they launched coordinated strikes against the Council's communication and supply lines. Alien warships could no longer coordinate effectively. Commands arrived late, misinterpreted, or not at all. Every human colony joined the effort. Automated defense satellites, small ships, and clever traps created an unbreakable web around the Council fleet. Sarah Ilian's voice was steady over the comms. "Hold formation. Wait for the moment. And then we strike." That moment came when the Council flagship moved too close to a human-engineered gravity anomaly. A fleet of small corvettes emerged from the shadows, hitting multiple points simultaneously. The Council flagship's shields failed. Energy beams, missiles, and magnetic disruptors disabled its systems. The flagship, the symbol of Council power, was now a human prize. Across the galaxy, the Council members gasped. Their fear turned to shock, then to disbelief. The human diplomacy. While battle raged, humans extended diplomacy. Ambassador Jerk of the Xandari and other smaller species publicly endorsed humans, declaring their loyalty and support. Several minor species who had been oppressed by the Council switched sides. The galaxy's political landscape shifted in real time. Humans were not only strong in battle, but also wise in politics. Their courage inspired allies and weakened enemies from within. The final confrontation by the next cycle, the Council's fleet was shattered. Only fragments remained, disorganized and confused. The Council leadership had no choice but to negotiate. They sent envoys, pleading for mercy and offering promises of restraint. Captain Sarah Ilian met them on neutral ground. She did not gloat, but her calm gaze conveyed strength. "The galaxy ignored us," she said simply. "They thought humans were weak. They were wrong. Humanity does not seek war, but we will survive and we will protect what is ours. Remember this, underestimate humans and the consequences will be yours." The Council delegates were silent. For the first time in millennia, their arrogance had been humbled. Aftermath humans emerged from the conflict stronger, smarter, and more united. Colonies thrived, alliances expanded, and the reputation of humanity spread across the stars. The galaxy now knew one undeniable truth. Humans were not just another species. They were a force of ingenuity, courage, and determination. Captain Ilian looked at her crew aboard Endeavour, exhausted but proud. "We've survived more than anyone thought possible, but this is just the beginning. The galaxy is watching and they will learn to respect humans, not because we asked, but because we earned it." Lieutenant Patel nodded. "And next time they will remember this lesson before they try to challenge us again." Even Captain Learn, the veteran observer who had warned the Council decades ago, marveled at the humans. "They are unpredictable," he said softly. "Clever, brave. A species unlike any I have ever encountered. The galaxy has been changed by humanity, and they haven't even reached their full potential yet." Closing thoughts across the stars, humans continued to explore, innovate, and grow. They did not seek conquest for its own sake. They sought survival, knowledge, and the chance to prove their worth. But the galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. Humans were not to be underestimated. And somewhere deep within the shattered fleets of the Council, delegates whispered to one another. The warnings were true. Humans were dangerous. Humans were unstoppable, and the galaxy would never be the same.